Pleased to meet you. This is Fixed and Folded, the knife review channel for the casual knife collector. I'm Cody, and I'm going to be reviewing the Tops MSF 4.0 folding knife. When I got this one, the steel was Tops normal, like 1095 carbon steel, but now this comes in N690. The N690 variant is $165 Canadian on bladescanada.com. And let's go through it. The fit and finish on this one, blade is a little bit off center, but like a millimeter, but doesn't touch the frame, and deployment, it looks quite straight when it's deployed. This is a micarta handle. It's quite blocky and has a liner lock. Deployment of the liner lock is very easy to use. Has a flipper, is the only method of deployment, and the design and actuation is very smooth. I'm not sure if it's on bearings. Might be on bearings. Yeah, I think it's bearings because the deployment is super smooth and I don't see bronze washers on there. Regardless, smooth deployment. This is not a full deep carry pocket clip. You're going to have this much sticking out, almost a deep carry. This is a medium-sized knife. This is, let's compare it with the medium-sized Benchmade bug out. And dimensions are very similar for both blade, cutting edge length, and handle real estate. So you can see my extra large hand here on the bug out and my hand with the MSF 4.0 from Tops. So even an extra large hand without gloves can handle this comfortably. The shaping, the shape here for the fingers is nice and ergonomic. There's rounded off corners, so there are no hot spots on the handle material. It's the handle design itself. I can feel the bill of the clip, but I wouldn't call it a hot spot. Yeah, I'd say it's a minor, very minor, barely noticeable hot spot. And if you don't plan on using the pocket clip to use as a pocket clip, but maybe just keep it on to have a reference for your fingers when you're deploying it, then you can always just take some pliers and bend this down a little bit more so you can't feel that at all. But even if you do use this, it's not that big of a deal. It's a minor issue. Other than the blade being off center by about a millimeter, the fit and finish is excellent. The texture on the handles is on the gritty side, especially for micarta. It's comfortable and also provides a decent traction. So this is a good choice. See the exposed ridges there on the texture. The blade thickness is on the thick side. I'd say between medium and thick. I would call this thick blade stock for a medium-sized knife. I'll compare it with the thinner blade stock on the bug out. Let's see if I can get an angle there. You can see significantly thicker on the Tops. There is a little bit of jimping on the liner and a little bit of jimping at the beginning of the blade, and elsewhere it is smooth. I would say you get a little bit of traction here, but I'd say it's more cosmetic or more just for tactile point reference than it is for actual traction. They're very smooth and mild. You can do a trigger pull choke up on this if you want to. There's enough real estate here that if you're careful, you can choke up, but you are getting exposed blade here on the finger, so there is a risk of cutting yourself. So I don't recommend it. I recommend, if you're gonna try and get more control, just to do thumb forward and save your finger there. This is not a big knife anyway. It's a medium-sized knife, so with most medium-sized knives, there's not a lot of situations where you want to really get close for the fine control of the detail. Draw cutting comfort is decent. There's nothing here to rest your finger on specifically for draw cutting. I'd say saber grip is what this excels at for hand comfort. Hammer grip, perfectly good too. Reverse grip is, yeah, pretty comfortable. And you can definitely do draw cuts with this handle shape. This has a Scandi grind. And from the box, this comes very sharp, so great for slicing and great for piercing. Even with this thick blade stock, I did some piercing and slicing tests, and this is exceptional at both. Scandi grind, the ideal way to sharpen a Scandi grind is to use some sharpening stones and maybe some soap and water. Get the angle to match the angle of the blade there, and take your time and sharpen them, and then it's going to have a rough edge on it, so you're going to want to do some really fine grit, maybe metal polish afterwards. That's lengthy. The lazy way to do it is just get a V sharpener, something like that, and just do a secondary edge on it. Obviously, it defeats a lot of the purpose of having a Scandi grind, which is just one acute angle cutting angle. But if you would need to get it done quickly, that's one way to do it. Yeah, so I've compared this already with their bug out medium-sized knife. They're very similar in size. Weight on this is light. You do have partially skeletonized liner. On this side it's skeletonized, and on the liner lock side it's not. Especially for the thickness, the blockiness of the handle, this is a lightweight knife. And you'll feel it in your pocket, but it's definitely manageably sized for most people. I'll just compare it against a full-size knife. You can get an idea. This is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And hand real estate on the back position is about the same. And you get this choking up point here, which extends that actual blade cutting area. You're going to get a little more on the PM2. But for EDC, especially if you want to do the full stones sharpening method on this thing, this is a cool knife. 165 and 690 tops, Scandi. Yeah, it's excellent. Boy, what do I want to rate this? Like, what's an 8 out of 10? A B, B plus? B. I'll give this a rating of a B. I think if the blade was perfectly centered, it would be a little bit better. And if this wasn't at all a hot spot, maybe something more premium than N690, I would give it an A. But this might be someone's favorite knife if you go handle one in the store, or even you'll probably be all right to order it online. Got this, they're currently in stock at bladescanada.com for $165 Canadian. It's a good all-around EDC knife. There you go. That concludes my review of the Tops MSF 4.0 Scandi folding knife. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon.